Hello guys and welcome back to Friday's news. Yes, it is me, Bam. I've been gone for 3 weeks, but never fear, I will always return. Joining me is G, and we have got some pertinent topics today. Yes, G did tell me not to say the word topic, but I've used it nonetheless. Right, first bit we have the Intel reveals a new GPU. We obviously got to talk about the Google Strada. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but there's a reason for that. And obviously we're going to discuss the Anthem post-launch update by Casey Hudson. Yes, I know we did an episode on Monday and he launched this on the Tuesday, so this falls under me to sort of cover it. Thanks for that, Drac. Well done. So obviously with regards to introducing G, my PRC. G, say hi.
Hey everybody, yes, it is Friday, and as I was about to say, Drac, as Bam said, because Bam's back, Intel news, Google, the Stadia isn't that a car?
Yes, thank you.
And you get to scrape Anthem off the floor after it's been dropped.
Well, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So, just to clarify, you said Intel reveals a new GPU. No, it's just they revealed the design of their discrete GPU card because they're going to pick a fight with NVIDIA and AMD on graphics card that you put into computers.
Well, right now, I think my money is on AMD because of the
Radeon 7.
Yes. Bang for buck right there. Whereas NVIDIA, it's like when you... I liken NVIDIA to a VW. You want to buy a VW car, but you can't afford the badge because the badge is just paying for a bit of extra chrome on plastic. So what you do is you look down the scale. You look at Seat, you look at Skoda, you look at... Oh, good God, there's many more.
Seat costs as much as a Volkswagen.
No, believe it or not, in the UK, dude. The Seats are quite cheap. Skodas are quite cheap, you know.
Skoda's cheap, but Seat is also a nice thing.
All VW. And what I'm trying to get at is, AMD and NVIDIA have got similar sorts of pricing points when it regards to the thing. You want a good graphics card to give you games. That's the end result. That's what I'm trying to say, right? NVIDIA is expensive to give you the same result. AMD is cheaper to give you the same results. I'm going to go for the cheaper option because, money's, bro.
If we're doing the automotive thing, I would say NVIDIA is the Alfa Romeos, and...
look nice but break, yes, you're right.
No, but they're fast and they're fun, right?
They're not fast!
No, they look fast. That's the idea. Cars look fast. There's still speed limits. And AMD is a Seat. Seat is equally fun, but cheaper.
No. You see, this is where I disagree. I wouldn't class AMD as... I will class AMD as a Skoda, right? I will, right? But I will class sort of NVIDIA as the sort of the VW Golf, whereas the AMD is like the VRS sort of Fabia, whatever have you. It's the same car, all that nonsense. Just a different skin over it. You're getting the same result. Same car, same engine,
We're supposed
same
to be
bits and
talking about
pieces.
Intel.
I know, I like cars, bro. I'm sick. Give me a break.
Anyways, the fun part is everybody's been hammering on about Intel revealed the design of the GPU card, and that's all it is. It's the external design of the card that goes inside the computer, and then you don't look at it again. Like, why is everybody covering that? It's irrelevant. And even they shown one design and then came out and said, oh, we have 10 more or something, 9 more going on. We're not sure which one's going to be, but here's how it might look like. And everybody just lost their shit.
That's all I really... Look, like you said, right, it's a GPU, it goes into the PC, once it's in there, you don't look at it again. Unless you've got a glass case and it flashes RGB.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Still don't.
Right, well, whatever. So, okay.
So to round it up, mate, it's a single fan design, and that seems to be the thing that they're going for either way, and the actual GPU doesn't launch until 2020.
Google Strada. What's the deal with that?
Okay, Google Stadia. People keep saying it's the Netflix of gaming, which it isn't, because I don't think that analogy is correct. It's interesting that they are streaming, and people saying, oh, it's brand new and it's big and it's the first one. Everybody's doing it. Sony has PlayStation Now, Google has this thing, Microsoft has xCloud, GeForce, well, Nvidia has GeForce Now, and there's a couple of other ones, plus there's Atomic, which streams the game instead of the visuals. No, it's interesting they're entering into it, but I think where we should pay attention is the fact they're going via YouTube. They're latching this onto YouTube for for better or worse. So it's all this whole, people can watch, I can look at you stream and then click play now, and whoopsie, 5 seconds later, I'm in the game. That's literally their claim, 5 seconds. There's things like you can share a state of your game, say you can snapshot a game if it's built for it, and I can play that point, just that bit of the game, and you can share that with all your viewers, so your viewers can try the same experience, the same challenge, the same difficult bit. If you fail something in a game, like we did a few times in, that one with where we played the 3 characters. Grave Danger, that was that one, yeah. When we failed a puzzle 20 times, it'd be fun to just snapshot and say, okay, viewers, you can go play it as well, and then we'll figure it out meanwhile. And then even here's one, right up for the Ninja crowd, crowd play, where the streamer can say, yeah, anybody can basically join me, and there'll be a queue, so anybody just plays crowd play now, and they join into a queue of 200,000 other people who want to play with Ninja.
This is where I think the console market is heading. Honestly, I do. This is where it's heading. And yes, I'm calling the Stadia a console, because if they can call a tablet a console, why not call a controller a console as well?
It's not even a controller. Controller is optional. You can use any controller.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as it can connect.
Yep. But you want the actual Google controller. I mean, I do. I'd buy that.
I'll use a PlayStation.
No, dude, I'd buy that. I've always preferred Xbox controllers to PS4 controllers. I always have. But I've always been a PlayStation fanboy. So you got to make sacrifices.
Looks like a PlayStation controller.
No, you see, I don't think so.
Thumbsticks are next to each other, not that weird offset thing that.
No, I'm talking about the chunkiness, man. Chunkiness. I've got big hands, bro.
You like them thick.
I've got them some big fingers, bro. Seriously, not them small little Japanese hands. I've got fat hands, dude. I quite literally I can grab my own thumbs.
You can grab your own thumbs.
Oh, yeah, I can actually. So that's how big my hands are. Anyway, what I'm saying is I like the bigger controller, and it's something that this new generation of consoles. Obviously, I say new generation, new ones coming out next year or whatever have you. The PS4 controller was bigger, but not by much.
But I don't know. The controller is not what really does with me. It is an interesting controller. There's something they call smart device detection, that it detects what device you're playing on. Like it's connecting it connects to your Wi-Fi and then figure out which one is running it. Is it the TV? Is it the phone? Is it the kids' room? There's a share button like we know on every other platform. Share, upload it to YouTube. And then there's a Google Assistant button, so you can press that and say, Google, turn on my lights.
Yeah, I really want that function in my life. Thank you very much. No, I was being sarcastic there. No, I don't want that function in my life. If I want to go turn the lights, I go stand up and turn the lights on.
I like it. I can tell my Home Assistant to do it.
Right, guys, I want to stop G right on his tracks there, because as we all know, we're all really here for the Anthem information that Casey Hudson has put out on the BioWare website. Right, he writes, "Whew, how's everyone doing out there?" Yeah, cheers, Casey. Thank you very much. I'm doing swell. I'm about to armchair critique your blog post that you probably spent the best part of the day writing, not trying to upset too many people, because let's face it, this article is as much damage control as it is sort of reassuring the concerned fans.
Yay, backseat drivers.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to read information like this because I'm an Anthem player. G, I know you're not, but it's interesting to see your sort of view on this, if this update will perhaps maybe make you buy the game, which I'll ask that question to you later. So he carries on writing, "It's been a wild ride these past few weeks. On one hand, it's been a rougher launch than expected, but on the other, new to online games, they tend to hit a bit of a problem once they go live, and not so much testing, all that stuff, blah blah blah." And yeah, no shit, Casey. Yep, you're right. Rougher than expected, of course. It's a new IP, it's a new game. I understand there are going to be hiccups, but it seems to have taken Fallout 76's sort of spot in the limelight of just getting hammered. And I want to say it's the Fallout 76 crowd just moving on to the new game. I've got a very funny feeling you disagree, G.
Well, I don't know how much it's the Fallout 76 crowd, because a lot of them actually stuck with 76 and are just waiting for more updates. What we're kind of seeing is the Dragon Age, Inquisition, Mass Effect Andromeda players, fans of BioWare, like myself, as said, this is the first one I haven't bought at this point from BioWare. Everything else I have since Neverwinter Night. Those that moved into it are happy to see that it's not Andromeda's facial rigging, but are sad to see that it's a lot more grindy, a lot more running around as opposed to engaging stories. They don't get the same feeling story-wise and interaction-wise. I think a lot of the complaints are from particularly Mass Effect players.
Like you said, the true fans of Fallout 76 are still playing the game. Fans of Anthem are still playing the game. Remember, when it comes to buying a new game, the hype train is real, okay? And you're either on it or you're off it.
Yeah.
The hype train for some games can get so real that you are basically expecting more than what you're given. And that is down to the marketing. These people allowing the marketing to get so out of hand just to push sales is kind of a bad trick, because ultimately these people are going to come onto the forums, go onto the social media sites and absolutely blast you, because essentially you've lied about something and you haven't delivered on what you promised. So that's where I see it is, you see. That's kind of like a deception, you see.
But I think it's people deceiving themselves, because a lot of what was expected of Anthem wasn't anything that they said. It was just people making things up. Fallout 76, I'd say, is a little bit different, because they had reasons to expect them, but Anthem is new IP. It's a online experience. It's a live, game as a service setup.
Yeah.
By a company and by a group who's never done it. It is basically EA telling BioWare, oh, that Destiny looks really successful. Could you make us one?
It's interesting to see how a developer such as Bungie needed Activision to sort of be a producer and basically sell their hardware and software, okay? Whereas BioWare has done the same thing with EA, and EA is the one that's obviously selling it, the publisher, right? Now, I would have loved to have seen this game if BioWare didn't use EA. Casey goes further on to say, we're looking at the problems, the issues that happen to rise, certain scales of tens of players versus millions of players. There were obviously some sort of overlaps. He says, I take it very personally, and it's been our top priority to get improvements out to you in the fastest and safest way. Now, I'm interested to see that he says safest way, because a lot of people genuinely thought their consoles were bricked with this Anthem update. And as far as the actual stats show, now please, if someone's got actual stats, please show me this, but apparently there's actually been no bricked consoles.
I've seen one reported, and it's only on the PS4 that there's been concerns. The headache has been that there's a specific scenario that can brick a PS4 if a game dies in a particularly bad way that it shouldn't be able to, at a particularly bad timing. Somebody apparently ran into it, but it is a case of the issue they had very much could brick.
Yeah.
If everything goes wrong.
Yeah, but sure, that's got to meet a very, very specific criteria, and if there's millions of people, I'm sure that criteria will be met quite swiftly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to see how he's addressed that sort of topic, because he's obviously saying, right, we've seen this, we've seen that, we're going to address this, we're going to do this. He also says, we continue to listen to your feedback with our improvements to endgame loot, progression, and whatever have you. See, now that's also interesting to me as well, because earlier on there was an update that actually broke the loot system and made the game a lot more enjoyable to play. The grind wasn't as real, and it was actually a lot of fun to play. I can confirm that it was. You just were able to rotate through your gear a lot quicker and get the stats and gear you wanted. And they then saw fit to remove it, and the game became boring and old. And yes, there are still stability issues in the PS4. My PS4 Pro howls like a banshee that's just been boiled alive because of the performance issues. It is churning out some serious heat. So there's obviously still some optimization issues that need to be done there with regards to PS4, I believe. So yeah, interesting to see.
Well, the headaches that it was on PS4 and that it's still having slight performance issues, alongside Fallout 76 having similar headaches, more than anything points to Sony still being, continues to be problematic with their cert process, that they're just not taking it serious. These games should not have been released on PS4. Well, they should be released on PS4, but they should have been in a better position.
Aye, and you see, this is where I don't necessarily think it's Sony's fault. I do want to shove this one more over to the developers' issue, but then I know it's not necessarily a development issue, it's a publishing issue, because the publisher puts weight on the developers, and these are the poor fuckers that get all the heat. EA is just sitting there, not taking any blame, leaving, all that nonsense. Developers have Basically, they have a set standard of hardware across the entire network. Surely this game was optimized perfectly.
No.
When it comes to the PC market, I understand there's many varied sorts of hardware options out there. But with the PS4 and the Xbox, you have a set parameter. Surely it was better optimized.
6-8 consoles per platform at this point.
Well, there we go.
So yeah, they could have tested more. On the grindy side, I think at some level everybody wants to be Destiny, and Destiny of course wants to be Warframe, which means everybody wants to be Warframe.
I agree there.
But none of them have that amount of stuff to grind towards. Warframe's at, 20-something frames alone. Anthem has 4. Warframe has 60, 70 guns, weapons. What does this one have? 6?
Whoa. It's because you got less than that. It's. I think it's got like... This is an actual topic that came up earlier this week. I think it was last week or this week, whatever have you. Don't quote me on the timescale. But all the weapons look the same. This is another bit that actually bugs me. All the weapons... A complete tangent now, G. Thank you very much for getting me all wound up now. All the weapons look the same. Every single one. You know, and the guy says, oh, we were going for the aesthetic of how your suit looks and whatever have you. I'm like, hang on a minute, you numpty. Your weapon is part of the aesthetic of your suit. How are you going to look badass running through the world of Anthem holding a freaking stick that everyone else has? How is that badass? I want to customize my own stuff. I mean, everyone, right, is running around in black, red, and white. Everyone. Okay, I've come across. Some do yellow, red, and white. Some do green. I think I'm the only sad sap that uses blue and red, you know? I think I'm the only poor guy that uses, like, dirty brown on his suit and makes his suit look all rusted and like it's been dragged up from the bottom of the ocean, sat next to the Titanic. Because that's the sort of feel I want to go for. Rusty, big, clunky suit.
Oh, you didn't go for neon green again.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that was funny. That neon green was funny on the demo when you played. That was very funny, yes. But no, it's...
Mine was bright copper.
I saw that.
Like metal copper.
I saw that. You did play the demo. Yes. I did manage to sink a fair few pretty pennies into Anthem, and for the most part, G, I'll tell you what, I'll leave that for the later. Anyway, Casey, I'm going to address him as his first name because, you know, first name basis and all that. He has moved on to say, the game is progressing further forward. As we move through this most difficult period of launching with a new game, a new IP, which we discussed earlier on, we are also working on things that will really show what Anthem is capable of. Now that to me shows a certain dedication. There's not just going to be a cut and run, drop the IP completely. And he says that there's going to be new story content, new world events, new features, and a build towards the Cataclysm later this spring. Now that tells me there's going to be a very exciting event happening in spring, which you all know if you read the roadmap and all that stuff. So I'm a bit excited for that. But then what scares me about it, G, is that I want to say how bad the game is. It's not a bad game. It's just poorly implemented. I know how poorly implemented it is. It just makes me think, how poorly implemented is this one going to be? And how is it going to break everything else? That's the bit I'm worried about.
I think that's part where people are missing it. I think that the world events and the catechism that's coming later on, they spend a lot of time in engine to get that to work, and that's why all the other things seem a bit less than optimal. I think it's going to shine. I genuinely have expectations for that. I think it's going to shine.
Well, there's the thing. I want to jump on this hype train because I think they know where they've made a mistake. I mean, come on, this is BioWare, for God's sakes. They know where they've come from. They're story-driven people. They make worlds. We have fun in their universes. I mean, my favorite game was...
yeah, but this is their first non-static world.
Well, what your favorite game is Dragon Age, yeah? I think you prefer Dragon Age 2 to Dragon Age 1.
Dragon Age is definitely the second one. That's my preference because I like the arcade style.
Yeah, I thought you might. You weirdo. I prefer the first one, you see, because it's more like Skyrim.
No, but I also I actually like the story in the second one. My favorite BioWare game is still Neverwinter Nights. That's
fun with you, right? Totally you. My favorite one's Mass Effect 2. Loved that game. Loved it. Mass Effect 3, Mass Effect 1, okay, yeah. Maybe want to buy the second one. Mass Effect 3,
Mass Effect 1 for me was broken because I played it on the Xbox.
Dude, I played on the PS4, PS3, was it? PS2? I love the game. Anyway, we're getting off topic here again, G. Anyway, well, the point I'm trying to make, right, is that we all have our favorite BioWare games, and we know what BioWare is capable of. The current game they've put out isn't, their best sort of work, and I do feel it's the whole EA sort of hovering over them, sprinkling their bollocks and nonsense, pushing pushing, because this game could have done with some more development. And he actually addresses it. He writes, but we understand there is skepticism out there. We hear the criticisms and doubts, but we'll keep going anyway, working hard every day on Anthem. An ever-changing world, constantly improving and growing, and supported well into the future by our team of passionate developers. Now, I really want to believe that little paragraph there. I really, really do, but I'm hesitant because, like yourself, G, I've been burnt in the past with many games from EA, and I really, really want to say that EA is the overbearing force on BioWare. I don't want to blame BioWare. I really, really don't. I'm trying to find somebody else to blame for this. I want to say a really bad word. So I'm going to say codswallop that I'm currently grinding through.
No, I still go back. Warframe and Digital Extremes, I think they're taking Digital Extremes' cue here. I think they're following what they did and saying, okay, we're starting with something that isn't complete. And we see that. The tweets they put out, the comments they're making on interviews, where they're saying, this is not the end game. This is not where we're going to end. This is where we're starting. And we saw that, as I said, with Warframe. It's not the same game now as it was back then. So I think they're taking some idea that they can do games as a service starting from a fairly low point, even if it is, I'm going to say, it's still a polished game. It's mechanically, it's not bad. There's just some, say, grindy elements. And then carry that onwards into the future and have a year or two from now an excellent game. And I think this is where it's going to shine over Destiny. Destiny was, here's Destiny 1. Okay, here's Destiny 2. Here's Destiny 3. Eventually, soon enough. If they're keeping this as just Anthem and are not targeting an Anthem 2, Anthem 3, this thing will outgrow Destiny easily.
Now, that's an interesting point. I didn't see the point of there being a Destiny 2 when they could have just carried on the story from Destiny bloody 1. Another game that burnt me horribly. Destiny 1 burnt me completely, and I never bothered buying Destiny 2, even though a lot of people have said, come back, Bamm. It's good game now. Come back, come play. I'm more inclined to go play Division 2 because I really enjoyed Division 1. Dark Zone was my place, bro. I loved Dark Zone. I got hammered in the Dark Zone. But, it's those little sneaky maneuvers where you get in and get out and, you're trying to dodge the arse hats. Or as Jack calls them, the ass hats. You're dodging those guys and you feel a sort of sense of victory over them, or when you find a dead server and you go and you raid the Dark Zone because the server's dead, you don't have to worry about stuff. Love those times. And you sneaky. Oh, dude, love it. Love that game. And I'm inclined to now go and buy Division 2 because the game's out now, obviously. I haven't heard, okay, there have been bad things, but I haven't heard atrocious things like 76 and BioWare. I know that the BioWare is taking the limelight away from Red Dead Redemption and their online services because there's a lot of janky stuff going on there that we haven't discussed yet, but we'll get there. We'll get to them because I believe there's a lot more shady stuff going on there that we need to discuss and people need to get off this BioWare case.
Okay, bit of a rant.
Look, I like BioWare. I like their games. This isn't their best game.
Yet.
I want to sort of find somebody else to point the finger at, but yet this is the product. And what's the old adage? You're only as good as your last evolution. So this is the last product they produced. They're only as good as their last product, and this is not what they're capable of.
Well, as you said, there's the catechism later in the spring, and then later on I'm expecting what E3 will hear more about Dragon Age 4 and what the Dread Wolf is up to.
Oh, dude, I'm so keen for that game. And I can guarantee that game's going to be 10 times better than this.
Yeah, I just hope, I still have the feeling that Dragon Age Inquisition was chopped to pieces. The ending should have been in it, and for that matter, Dragon Age 1 as well. Some of the DLC components should not have been DLC. The whole Dread Wolf ending part on the DLC should have been in the main game.
Well, guys, thank you very much. We try to keep this down to a 10-minute segment, but thanks to my rants and G's rants and all these other bits and pieces, now going to be a lot more than that. So yes, happy days. Thank you very much for joining myself, Bamm Havoc, and G, the talk ofness. And yeah, guys, from me, Bamm Havoc, toodle pip.
And from me, just a reminder that there is another news episode, the Weekend Roundup, on Monday. It'll probably be me and Bamm again, just for fun, because there should be some variation, right? And then next week, we don't have an interview. We have us talking about what we're going to do the week after. So don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell button. Do all the things that makes you pay attention to us. And you'll catch us on Monday. Ciao, guys.